Hello again, Mountain Lions, and welcome back to the Red Mountain Radio. As per usual, I'm your host, Anaya, and today we've got another spring sport for you. In this episode, we explore the RMHS softball team. For those of you who haven't listened in before, in the Spring Sports Insider, we'll discuss everything surrounding high school sports by getting first-hand personal accounts from the athletes themselves. If you're curious for more, check out our last episode, which features Christina Westover and Lincoln Hall from the tennis team. Our athlete interview for this episode is with softball. Visiting the podcast today are athletes of varsity senior Kendall Cochran and varsity junior Peyton Westra. Let's take a listen to that conversation. Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with Peyton Westra.
Hello.
And Kendall Cochran.
Hi.
From the RMHS softball team. So thanks, guys, for being here today. We're super excited to have you guys on the podcast. Softball is such a fun sport to watch. Very similar to baseball, but it's a little bit more intense. It has a lot of dedication and skill that goes into the sport. Can you guys elaborate a little bit more on what goes into the softball team here at Red Mountain?
I would say our coaches have really put us to work at our practices, and they really make sure that we really bond with each other and we get along very well, especially since we're pretty young. But yeah, we put a lot of effort into our practices, and that kind of leads into our games.
Yeah, recently we've been focusing a lot on like the small details, the things that really turn around games, and those have just been what we've been focusing on at practices. So just that way in the games everything is more sound and put together, considering that we're so young.
Would you say that age has a lot to do with your skill in softball, or is it more of a mindset thing with the softball team?
I would say age doesn't have a lot to do with it. It's more of the mindset and the experience part, because playing high school softball, there are certain things to it that over time you just get more comfortable with it, because it is like going from middle school to high school. It's that big jump that a lot of people are kind of nervous for, and so once you make that jump, you just get more comfortable, and that's what we're trying to help the younger kids out with, is feeling comfortable and just playing their game and not trying to fit any agenda, just really focusing on their own play.
And both of you guys, Peyton and Kendall, you guys mentioned the team. Would you say that the camaraderie on the softball team is really tight-knit? I mean, especially because in softball, you're in the dugout for a long period of time, you're just kind of chilling with your teammates, and you really have to stay locked in on the game, even though it's so easy to get distracted. So how do you and your teammates enhance that bonding between each other to make sure that you guys stay locked in during the game, or even after the game, and you guys can work better together as a team? What's the camaraderie like on the softball team?
I think our team camaraderie this year is way better than it's been in the past. And I think even though we have a lot of freshmen and underclassmen, I think that we get along really well. And I think it's just about not letting what happens on the field or playing time affect our relationships with each other.
Definitely better than last year, and with this new staff that we have, we do a lot of things off the field together. Like we'll do ice baths like every other week, and it just builds so much camaraderie off the field that it helps so much in the games, and you can see it.
So being really tight-knit off the field with the people on the softball team, being friends, doing the fun things like you said, ice baths, that definitely enhances your gameplay is what you're saying.
Yeah. Whenever you're on the field, you just want to play for the person next to you that much more, and it makes it a lot more fun.
And you mentioned the coaches. As you said, you have a new staff this year. How are you liking that? They good?
Yes, it's so much better. We love it so much, yeah.
Yeah. And those coaches, do they kind of inspire you guys to have that camaraderie between the players? What tactics do maybe the coaches use, like you said, ice baths, that they use to bring the players together more, especially because you guys have such a big age difference with your seniors and your underclassmen on the team? How do those coaches help inspire that closeness on the softball team?
This year, our coaches are really pushing that we help and coach each other, and it doesn't necessarily need to be your technique or whatever, but just like aspects of the games, things that you like, things that you think should happen, shouldn't happen. When those kind of relationships are built on the field, it encourages the camaraderie off the field that much more. So that way you can have those serious moments on the field and it not affect your overall relationship with the person.
I think our coaches letting us have fun with each other. Practices really helps our camaraderie and how we get along with each other.
And, if you're wanting to play for more than yourself, if you're wanting to play for your teammates, obviously you're going to have a better game in general. And, of course, be as successful as the softball team here at Red Mountain. So, circling back to more of a personal standpoint on softball, how did you guys get into this sport? I would say it's a pretty niche sport. As you grow older, people drop out, people find other sports to move on to, but you guys have stayed with the softball. What got you into playing softball? What inspired you? Maybe mom or your dad played it, or a sibling played it, or maybe you just went to a game one day and realized that this was what you wanted to do. What kind of got you guys into the sport of softball?
I honestly don't know what got me into the sport of softball. I know my mom played softball and my dad played baseball, but I honestly just found one sport and I stuck with it. Like, I've never played any other sport besides softball.
For me, I was a very competitive person now and when I was younger. So when I saw girls my age wearing club uniforms and not the Little League rec uniforms, it made me want to go play club, because I was like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And then that's how I kind of fell into the really competitive part of softball.
And what do you guys love about softball? Every sport has that maybe unique thing that really gets you into the sport, but what about softball that you guys are specifically attracted to? Maybe it's the, hang out in the dugout, or maybe it's just hitting that home run. What kind of makes you guys love this sport so much?
I think for me, being a pitcher, it's kind of being in control of the game, like, at all points. And I think the team, getting to play for each other, like, it's not like two people like playing in a tennis match. It's like a whole team to try and win a game.
Yeah, I'd say the part that I fell in love with was the team aspect of really learning how to play for each other. And when you're feeling down, like, your teammates are there to pick you up too. So it's just that constant balance of being there and playing for each other.
And Kendall, you mentioned that you're a pitcher. And Peyton, what do you play?
I'm an outfielder.
Outfielder. Can you guys kind of explain to me the different types of positions in softball? Because it's a lot like baseball, would you say, with the positions? And maybe we can get more insight onto what it looks like on the field, with the outfielder and the pitcher, and where kind of everybody's supposed to be. What's everybody's role on the softball field?
I think for pitcher, it's mainly like my mentality and keeping calm, like not letting errors affect me, and helping motivate the team to go back in there after 3 outs and hit.
So for defense, you have your infielders and your outfielders. Your infielders are the ones that are in your pitcher's ear. They're always like, hey, here we go, got to, they're running. They're kind of running the show, especially shortstop. Shortstop is who really runs the entire infield. So they have all their plays, their defenses, all that. The outfield is just kind of like the last line. They get all the mistakes is what we call them. Like any ball out there, big ball, any bad throw, we're always kind of the backup. But there's lots of ground to cover. You have to be really on the same page with all your outfielders. So that way you know how to move in sequence, where to play certain hitters, depending if they're lefty, righty, bunt, power, all those other things. And then you have your catcher, which she could tell you more about that.
Catcher kind of runs basically the whole entire show, because like obviously on any play they're like, hey, you're going to, or on this play, like, cut. And I mean, obviously for me, having my back like on a bad pitch or throwing out a runner, that kind of thing.
So everybody works in tandem to make sure that you guys get the other team out, essentially. And that's awesome. The outfielders must have a ton of running to do, huh? Because you're always running to go get the ball. And that's kind of where the athleticism comes in for softball. A lot of people, they would stereotype softball players. Oh, they just don't run that much, or they're not that skilled. But obviously, that's not the case here. You guys are very, very skilled athletes who are very dedicated to your sport, which I think is awesome. And that's a great thing to bring to Red Mountain. More on the team side, but also relating to you guys as an individual, what kind of lucky charms or, good luck practices do you guys do before games or after games to kind of get you guys going for that game and, ensure that you'll have luck on your side? Or what do you guys kind of do before your softball games that maybe constitute as a superstition or a lucky charm that help you guys win your game?
We always wear ribbon, like either whether it's like red or pink or black, and then we always do like glitter eye black, just to kind of like, that's just something we always do. Yeah.
And before games, we always play hacky for at least 20 minutes as a team.
Hacky sack?
Hacky sack, yeah. We have an 8-ball hacky right now, and we just play for a little bit, kind of get loose, warm up, get going. And then also we bring candy to every game. Normally it's like Nerd Clusters or Skittles or Starburst, something like that you can just go grab after an at-bat or once you come in. And a lot of people like to bring energy drinks. That's like their ritual. They'll go to Dutch, Black Rock, wherever, gas station. They'll come bring it back, and like most of our team comes walking in with like 3 cups.
Oh my goodness. And hacky sack? That is such an odd ritual. Why hacky sack? Why not like normal stretches?
Well, I couldn't answer that because it's been a tradition at Red Mountain before I even came. We still do our stretches, we still do our warm-up, but it's before that and right before the game. We'll just show up early and waste time just hanging out together and just laughing about playing hacky sack.
That's awesome. Definitely circling back to more of the individual. You're a senior, right, Peyton?
I'm a junior.
Junior. Okay, and Kendall, you're a senior.
Yeah.
Right. So seniors, the common theme on this podcast, seniors don't have a lot of homework. Is that correct to assume?
Yes.
Yes. Correct. And juniors, you guys have it rough.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. So how do you, as an elite softball player, balance that homework and practice life, especially when maybe you've had a game or a practice after school and you didn't really have time to do your homework? What do you kind of do to help yourself be that student athlete?
How I see it is my time at school is for purely school. I try to keep sports and other things out of my mind. So when I'm at school, if I have downtime in a class, like I'm getting all my homework done. At lunch, if I have homework, I'm getting my homework done because honestly, there's not really a lot of time once you get home after sports and then you have more workouts after. There's not a lot of time to do homework. So when I'm here for the 7-8 hours that I am, I just try and make sure I really focus on getting all my stuff done so that way afterwards I don't have to worry about it and I can focus on my athletic activities.
Yeah. You want to pitch in, Kendall?
Yeah, I just try and get most of my work done, while I'm at school, because obviously when I get home from practice and I, shower and I eat, I don't want to go home and do my homework. So, yeah, I try and get most of it done when I'm actually here.
Right. And that's been a pretty common theme with all of our student athletes, get it done at school or get it done in whatever free time you might have on the bus. Speaking of the bus, actually, one also common theme that we've had is bus rides are crazy in every sport. That's where all the fun happens. What are the bus rides like for softball players?
Bus rides are really fun. We blast music and we dance and we sing. And yeah, it's honestly the best part before the game.
Yeah, before the game, it's really fun. That's what gets energy going. And then after the game, it gets even crazier sometimes.
Oh?
There's been, most of the time the coaches are at the front of the bus and all of us are at the back, and they mind their business, but sometimes we'll get the coaches in on it.
Oh?
And it's pretty fun.
That sounds awesome. The last thing that we're going to talk about, which is probably my favorite thing to ask all student athletes, is the lore, or the stories that you guys have had from this season or past seasons that you guys will remember for really the rest of your softball careers, stuff that you're going to take from your high school and you're going to tell people, you're going to tell your kids, oh, well, guess what I did in high school. What things from the softball season or the softball team have you guys carried with you all this time? What kind of stories do you guys have?
Every day, something always happens. There's every single practice, I'm always laughing. Some of the funniest parts are probably, when people fall during warm-ups.
Oh.
Because you do it every single day. It's like a routine. And then when somebody breaks the routine, it's just, everybody just breaks down
Cracks
laughing.
up.
I think some from game memories, I would say, us beating Pinnacle, our first game of the season. I feel like that was, just kind of a fun time, and obviously we have a lot of fun at practices and on our bus rides.
Is Pinnacle a rivalry for Red Mountain softball?
No, not necessarily. It was just we haven't played them in a couple years, and obviously we were going in as the underdog because we lost 9 people from last season.
What kind of rivalries? I mean, obviously Mountain View, right? Tore us down. But what rivalries maybe does the softball team have that are a little bit unorthodox for Red Mountain? maybe rivalries you guys have picked up along the way. Are there any schools that you guys just butt heads with every time?
Honestly, all schools. Like, there's not a single team where they're like our friends. Like, anytime we step on the field, we're going to do as much damage as possible to the other team, and not a lot of schools like that.
No mercy.
Yeah.
My goodness. Well, I hope you guys can show no mercy in trivia. So, there's a tradition on the podcast. It's a new tradition. We started it this year. But it involves some trivia regarding your sport, softball. So, are you guys up for some trivia?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, I'll explain the rules. You'll have 10 seconds to answer a question after I ask it. And if you answer correctly, you'll get 3 points. And if not, you get nothing. There will be 3 regular questions worth 3 points and a bonus question worth 5 points. At the end of this season, the sport that has the most points in sports trivia will win a Spring Sports Trivia Bragging Rights Trophy. It is a real thing. Currently, tennis is winning with 9 points. And do you guys think that you can beat tennis and win gold?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get to it. The first question. How many players are on the field for one team during a game of softball?
For one team? Are they on offense or defense?
Defense.
9.
9.
That's correct. 1 point. Okay, the next question. What is the term for when a batter hits the ball and reaches all 4 bases without any errors?
Home run.
Home run.
That's also correct. Okay, so you guys have 6 points. You guys have surpassed boys volleyball, or no, you're tied with boys volleyball right now. And 1 more question, and you will be tied with tennis, and then maybe you guys can get the bonus question. All right. What is the area called where the pitcher stands to throw the ball?
The mound or
circle
the
and the
pitching
mound.
circle?
That's correct. All right, this is the last question. It's the hardest question because it's the bonus question right now. You guys have 9 points, and you guys are tied with tennis. So if you get this one right, you will win. So, or, well, at least will be in first place until another team perhaps beats you. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Last question. In fast-pitch softball, what is the maximum allowable pitching distance from the mound to the home plate in an official NCAA women game?
43
43
feet.
feet.
That's correct. I did not expect you guys to get that so fast. My goodness. All right. Well, you guys have finished with 14 points, so that's the maximum amount of points you can get. If another team manages to also get 14 points, then there will be a tiebreaker round. We've never done this before, so maybe the tiebreaker round is going to work a little differently. But yes, so definitely good job, guys. And thank you guys for being on the podcast today. It was really nice to learn a little bit more about softball and your guys' sport. So thanks, guys.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Everyone, that was Kendall, Cochran, and Peyton Westra from softball. Softball's next game is on April 14th against Dobson at 3:45 p.m. Make sure to come out and support your RMHS softball team. Well, listeners, that's it for this week's episode. We heard some great stories and got great insight on softball with athletes Kendall, Cochran, and Peyton Westra. Coming up, next time on the Spring Sports Insider, track and field. Tune in next time to get all the insights on the track and field team here at the Red Mountain Radio. Thanks again for tuning in to episode 16, season 4 of the Spring Sports Insider, featuring Kendall Cochran and Peyton Westra. Thanks to them for joining me today. You can follow us on Instagram at Red Mountain Radio, spelled REDMTNRADIO, to receive updates on episode drops and fun behind-the-scenes insights. I'm your host, Brooklyn Anaya, and thanks again for joining me on this Spring Sports Insider episode. Now on to the part I know you all love. Credits! Oh my gosh! Today's episode was written by Brooklyn Anaya. Our directors are Brooklyn Anaya and Connor Sampson. Our producers are Mr. Kelly from RMTV, Brooklyn Anaya, and Connor Sampson. Our sound engineer, drumroll please, is Connor Sampson. And thanks to Connor Sampson for mixing and editing the sound. Woo! Yes, Connor! Thanks to our special guests for this episode, Kendall Cochran and Peyton Westra. Thanks to them for joining me on today's episode. And certainly not the least, but you are the last, you listener! Thank you so much for tuning in to the Red Mountain Radio. All 80 of you. We're so proud, and thank you for sticking with us all this time. Definitely share to your friends so we can get that listener count up to 100. Yeah. Oh god, that's so cringy. Okay. This was season 4, episode 16 of the Sports Insider on softball by the Red Mountain Radio. I don't know why I was so excited today. I think it's because I had like 3 cups of coffee.
Bruh.